On hilltop, cold and living, born market on one ex woman ran off with another guy. Head down, Rocky in the eye. Rocky didn't like that, so I'm gonna get that boy. So one day he walked into town, booked himself a room, exit, and he started.
Mendoza.
Yes.
Welcome to the UK.
Good to be here. Nice to meet you, Michelle. What's your last name?
Finch.
Finch.
Yeah,
nice to meet you. Señorita Finch.
We brought up in a musical family.
Yeah.
And is that where your influence started?
Pretty much. I grew up in Mexico, and my parents separated. My grandmother came from Mexico City to kind of help along while they were going through trying to work things out. And along with her came a big old piano. So she was a piano teacher, but up to that point, my father was a clarinet player. My mom was a professional singer. She had a couple of singles on the radio with her sisters. So I think the seed was there, but they were going through their tribulations and problems and all that. And then when my grandmother showed up, that situation was kind of at peace. My grandma was just a beautiful woman that believed in the art of music and all the arts in particular, but so she started kind of planting more seeds and cultivating that. You know, my sister was starting to be a concert pianist, and she was moving pretty fast. And that kind of scared me because it was too, there's only one way to do the classical music, and I was like, that's not me. I'm too scattered for that. But yeah, so we had music around the house all the time.
So what made you go to the bass guitar? When did you pick one up?
The bass guitar came out of default. Really, I was playing guitar up to that point with a garage band with my brother and two other friends, and this other band that already was a little more organized had had transportation. They had their own PA, and they were doing the bigger gigs. They were doing gigs at the schools, so they were like big time.
Yeah.
Their bass player moved out of town, and they approached me. I was singing at that point already, so they needed somebody to play bass and sing, and they were digging what I was doing. So yeah, I kind of lied through my teeth, and I said, yeah, I play bass, which I didn't.
Yeah. But
then my dad was so cool. He came home from work one day and saw that I was worried about it. I'm very when I'm stressing about something, it's very obvious that you can tell is what's wrong. So I'm supposed to do an audition next week for this band, and I lied. And I said that I did play bass and that I had a bass, and which I did. And said, well, don't worry, come on, get in the car. We went to the nearest pawn shop and got a bass, And next thing you know, I learned, 5 to 10 songs. I can't remember. It was so long ago. It was in the 20s, But I think I learned like 6, 7, 8 songs, and I auditioned, and they dug it, and I was really surprised at the challenge of playing bass and singing, because up to that point I was just playing rhythm guitar. So for me to sing, playing rhythm guitar was pretty natural. It was just, now I had to play counter rhythms and play, counter melodies to what I was singing. And I think that's where the spark started, because it was very challenging. And I've always been that kind of person. I like challenges, I always through life, when people tell me you can't do that, it's impossible. It's impossible. You can't do that. So little knob that goes on, I'm going, all right, I think I can make it happen now. It's challenging. If I don't find something else to do.
Join them.
Then Lizzy came through. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on. Then Lizzy came through John. I started telling you off camera, I was working with John Sachs. We came in on the second album to replace Tony Franklin. on Geffen, and it's John, was part of the Thunder and Lightning lineup with Phil. Brilliant writer, brilliant guitar player and singer, great guy. I consider him a friend. I hope he does too, still, but we haven't talked in a while. But so in the set, he would include some of the songs that he wrote with Phil, like Cold Sweat, Thunder and Lightning, Please Don't Leave, and then we do a couple of White Snake Things and the Bluebird stuff. He's a great writer, songwriter, and his guitar playing is just amazing, and singing. So that's where I got, to that point I had known about Thin Lizzy, but being from the West Coast, California, the guys only toured the US twice. So the Boys Are Back in Town broke in, Jailbreak broke through, Whiskey in the Jar broke, but other than that, unless you were an avid, strong fan, you had to go to get into their catalog and start digging stuff. Well, John, we went to Japan, and the opportunity was there for Thin Lizzy to do a run in Japan. One of the promoters, asked John what was going on with the boys, and he said, "Yeah, I'm in touch with them, and so why don't you give them a call? Maybe they want to do something. I think it would be brilliant if we could do something." And so he did. He called everybody, and so I was one of the guys that was on the list to call to play bass because John and I had a great relationship. That's when I got my hands on everything Thin Lizzy that you can imagine. And to my surprise, it was like, wow, this is real deep stuff, man. I'm like, are you kidding? Black Rose, what the? Whoa, Live and Dangerous, Jailbreak, and just on, and every album, every track had something that was so special. The Celtic thing, the writing, Phil's writing, and his topics, and the poetry, and the music, and the guitars, and Brian's playing, and it was like, so I discovered in a deeper way.
Yeah.
And so I did a lot of work. I think I worked on maybe 25 tracks. They said work on these 10. But to my experience, you never do that.
Yeah.
If you're going to go, I call it an audition. They said I was an audition, but in my mind I was. And so I learned about 25, 30 tracks. And I showed up, and everything they were throwing at me, I was there, and we hit it up.
Are you still working on your own stuff?
Yeah, I've been doing that my whole life. I've had a trio for, I want to say 15 years, or if not more, which is where John came and heard me play. The keyboard player is working with Prince now, amazing keyboard player from Brazil. Joey and Elliot produces music. He's a drummer's drummer too. He's got this very unique way of playing. And because we're all Latin, we tend to go into the Brazilian, the Afro-Cuban rhythms, and we have a lot of fun. And it's a trio, so I pull out my 6 fretless, and I can solo a lot more because there's no guitar. I put out an album, Live for Tomorrow with Frontiers. That album you can get, I think, if you go look for it, Live for Tomorrow. I think
Yeah, I listened to it.
Live for Tomorrow.
You said that I was so blind. Girl, you know you were right this time.
For me, mostly it was a great learning experience, and it really gave me, it kind of lit me up in the way of how important writing is, music writing, because you get to express yourself in a different way, lyrically, emotionally. I listen to the album. Now when I play live, it's just so, I dig it. I don't know, I don't care how good I'm singing, I don't care how the band is sounding, well, I do care. Emotionally, I listen to the album. Now when I play live, it's just so, I dig it. I don't know, I don't care how good I'm singing, I don't care how the band is sounding, well, I do care. But my commitment to the lyrics and the topic that I'm singing about, and all the songs are very positive, they're all uplifting, optimistic, full of hope and faith, which is what my journey's about. I'm proud of that album. My daughter's on the cover, it's a family thing. That's my daughter. Thank you. When she was 4.5, she's now 9 going on 20.
Passion for music is obviously very strong. What do you think about music nowadays, what you hear on the radio? How do you think it's changed the industry?
Oh, wow. That's another big one, right? I was talking to somebody just before the interview, a friend of mine who's got some daughters, and they're thinking about pursuing music. And my daughter as well, and my little son. I really don't. We don't have a crystal ball. We don't know where the business is going to be. The industry is going to be in 10 years. It could be for the best. Now that the big machine is out of the middle. But I find that a lot of up and coming and talented folks are struggling to promote themselves on the internet, because initially we thought, okay, well, it's going to go from the artist to the fan base straight. But guess what? You need money to promote now on the internet. Big money. So that's where the big question mark is. And I don't know. It comes down to, I'm finding out, I started touring behind my albums a few years ago. A few dates here, a few dates there. That's what it comes down to. You got to be willing to make that commitment fully. You know, and at this point in my life, at this point in my career, everybody's telling me, you know, they're advising me against it. Why are you doing this? You don't need, I don't need to. I want to. I want to go out there and play in the little clubs, you know, the 100, 150, sometimes 300 little seaters or 50, whatever. And you can't explain that. You can't share that to somebody who doesn't understand. But the satisfaction that I get at the end of the night, playing my songs, and people, just a few people coming over and says, wow, really touched me. This song, you know, I identify with it in that one, and it's like, wow, I never saw this side of you. That's what fuels me. So I don't think I'll ever stop doing that, you know, as long as I can move, you know. But the industry is, I don't know. I wish I could be optimistic and hopeful, but it's looking a little dim right now. I think we need to find our way, you know. And our way, I think, is touring, booking clubs and printing your own CDs, because there's not going to be any labels left here soon. And go peddling your music, you know, like it used to be way back in the 50s and the 60s. Yeah, huh? You know, I wish I was ready for this. Big Beatles fan. The biggest influential, the most influential album ever for me was Abbey Road, right? Beatles. And so I became a big fan, and maybe I can do this one. I'd love to do an original one, but I'll do this with it. Blackbird singing in the dead of night. Take these broken wings and learn to fly. Only waiting for this moment to arrive. Yes, you were. Blackbird singing in the dead of night. Take these 7 eyes and learn to see. All your life, you were only waiting for this moment to be free. Blackbird fly, blackbird fly into the light of a dark black Take these wings and learn to fly. Yeah, take these broken wings and learn to fly. Hey, fly, 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 fly away, blackbird, fly.